What's up, everybody? Cloudchord here for my new education brand, Open Channels. What do you think? What do you think of the name? I love it. Open Channels, providing channels for you to stay open to new knowledge. So here we go. Today, we're going to look at echo amps. I've been wanting to do a guitar-based amp that focuses on delays and echoes and reverbs. So I got a new one here. I made this today. It's got a whole bunch of snapshots for you. The deluxe version that you pay for has all these snapshots. And if you don't feel like paying for it, you can download the free version and just watch this tutorial and learn a whole bunch and remap it yourself and make it for yourself. All right, so let's dig in. Here we go. So what I want to do is just play a couple of clips that I made for you ahead of time that have drums and just kind of drop the needle through some of these snapshots. So here we go. Let's start with short tap. That's cool. It's like a rhythmic, just simple thing. Let's do slapback. A little bit faster, right? All right, let's try Brooklyn. That's a nice one. Has a long delay, as you can see. All right, how about double up? This is cool. It kind of repeats on itself. That's dope. All right, here's a preset called Snow, which uses this grain delay. If you shift up by 1 octave, you see it right here, you get this little shimmer. Kind of a secret tip inside Ableton for the grain delay to how to get kind of like a whammy pedal and a delay at the same time. You see that's got a long tail too. And of course, up top here, I just got a reset button that has no delays, just a little bit of reverb. So if you want a clean tone or if something is ringing out too long, hyper functional. Let's do this. Let's go to these chords that I have now at 120. This is just on the dry setting. So you can just hear those chords. Now let's go to dark decay. Called dark decay because the decay is dark. There's not a lot of high frequencies there. All right, pop clean. We always want the trick for the pop gig delay sound is you want enough delay to make it be full, but you want this feedback knob, which is also here, the echo decay. You want it to be of a lower value so the echoes don't stick around too long. It gets sloppy. It's like too much popcorn in the kettle. You know what I'm saying? So let's check out pop clean. Yeah. Let's put it on the ARPs. See how it sounds on the ARPs. This clip here. Switch that complex mode. If I shift it up a little bit. Does it get too busy? It's nice, right? That's the trick of a good delay is if you speed it up, if it doesn't, especially for this pop context, if you speed it up, if it doesn't get too busy, right? Oh, here's a nice one. Next door. Let's see how this sounds. Hear it through the wall is your neighbor with a delay pedal. What do you got over there? Is that a TC Helicom? Digital delay, boss? Chase Bliss? What do you got? No, bro. It's just the Echo Amps by Cloudchord via Open Channels. All right. Stairwell. We've all come upon the homie in the stairwell or somebody in the stairwell speaking, performing. You know, not a lot of low end, a lot of high end, a lot of echoes. Let's hear it. Mastered for iPhone. It's nice, right? Let's slow it down a little bit here. Also, pro tip, get the delays going, change the BPM, and you get those funky artifacts. That's a cool one. One more, let's look at wide and weird. Let's take off the beat and just listen to it on its own. It's wide. And it's weird. Yeah. And then, of course, we all need the utilitarian AM radio. How do the ARPs sound through this AM radio? Let's check it out. Pretty good. How about this funk clip? Yeah, funk clip sounds good. Funk clip do funky stuff like through the slapback. Cool. So those are the snapshots. So let's just take a couple minutes and go through this actual signal chain to hear why we are hearing the sounds that we are. So in our signal chain, past these snapshots and the macros, we have the tuner, of course. I'm going to hit the minus sign to minimize that. Minus minimizes, plus expands. Nice hotkey, right? We got the phaser here, and that is mapped to this macro called Trippy Indie, which is cool. So the fun thing about these is that as soon as you make a change to one of these snapshots, you'll see that an asterisk appears. And then you could hit the new button, and that will allow you to create your own individual presets. So if we just even take reset, which is just the clean sound. Now you can really hear what each macro does. So I'm a big fan of taking these macros and sometimes turning them all the way up so you can see exactly how they sound full blast. And then you can bring them back to a more tasteful scenario. All right, so we got the phaser. We got the pedal for the gain, but I actually have it turned off. I just wanted to leave that in there for people if they wanted to map that anywhere and just have a little bit of drive. Then we got EQ8, which is essentially for like a low cut and a high cut. That's just real easy. Look, we're going to get our low cut. We're going to get our high cut, right? Then we have the amp, which is mostly on clean for this particular rack. Then we have our cabinet, which is mostly on 1x12 or 2x12. We're not getting into any crazy lead tones. Saturator and warm tube for a bit of warmth. All right, so here's a fun one. This is a filter flutter analog. So one of the things too, if you are following along at home and you just want to buy want to download the free simple version, one of the things you can do, and this advice is free, hit the map button and then pause the video right here on my macro mappings and duplicate all of them. That advice is free and just saved you some money. And that is how you can save yourself some time and imitate my mappings. Cool? All right, so this flutter analog, as you can see, is mapped to both my phaser and this Trippy Indie. Okay, so what that does, this is an instance of echo. So as Trippy Indie goes up, we just get a little bit more of this flutter analog delay. Right now it's at 16, so you could change it. And a little bit of phaser too. Cool. All right, and then we have the reverb and reverb decay. That's pretty self-explanatory. That is mapped to our hybrid reverb, which is at the end of the channel. So you see that here's the decay and here's the dry wet. So those are mapped to, the dry wet is mapped to reverb, the decay is mapped to decay. Okay, now let's look at this. This is a fun one. This is the Canyon. So the echo mount is mapped to the dry wet of this Canyon. And then here's something fun. Is echo speed is mapped to the speed, but they're inverse. So you see as I turn up the echo macro, both of these speeds move in inverse directions. So we get some interesting combinations of rhythms. It's not just a straight thing of like, they're both at a quarter, they're both at an eighth, they're both at a 16th. So you can mess with that. And then the decay is mapped to two things. It's mapped to the feedback of the delay and the decay of the reverb inside this Canyon echo. That can get pretty rowdy pretty quick. All right, and what we got left here, we got our delay. So this is pretty standard, hyper functional. That's why I wanted to give just our simple delay 3 macros. We have the delay time. So these do move in simpatico. So this delay time, you'll see it's moving the left and right and they're on the same amount, but I have them at slight offsets. So you always get just a nice tasteful flam with these. It's just not a boring thing. Hear how there's just a slight flam there. So the amount is mapped to the dry wet, you can see, and then the feedback is mapped to the feedback. So here's like feedback all the way. You can go out to dinner, come back, and it's still delaying. So good stuff. All right, and here's the exciting thing that I mentioned earlier in this video, snow. It's like a whammy pedal or the crystallizer from Sound Toys, which is super cool. It's just a grain delay with the pitch mapped up an octave. So you can mess with the rhythms down here. So that is really nice in conjunction with other delays, like on the snow preset. Pretty nice, huh? All right. The glue is just the amount of glue and makeup gain compression that we have right at the end. So I like to put glue at the end, especially at something like a delay amp, because it amplifies the amount of delay we're hearing. So then we don't have to turn up the dry wet as much. It just compresses the dry signal and the wet signal a little bit more. So amp type is mapped to our actual amp type here. So you can see I can scroll through and it'll go from clean to boost to lead to rock, all that stuff. Cabinet type just moves through the size of the cabinets, as you can see. And then the volume is just mapped to the volume of our limiter. So there you go. Those are delay amps. I'm going to jam a little bit. Thanks for watching. In the description, you can download the full version that has all of these snapshots, or you can download the free version and remake your own macros and your own snapshots. So thank you for listening. Like and subscribe. Every little bit helps. Turn on those notifications. Now I'm going to jam here for a second.